Hey, what's going on? Your sister Michelle's here. Yes, what's going on? Shout out to all my subscribers and the ones new coming in. I love you so much. This was a special request video. I think I've talked about it in my other videos, but I've done so much talking about the narcissist, y'all. I done lost track of time. And sometimes I forget even what I've said. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself. I don't mean to. This right here is my narcissistic story. People have been asking me to talk about it. Y'all ready for the dirt? Y'all ready for the scoop? All right, let's go. Okay, let's get to it. I'm going to start this off. It's going to take a little minute. I'm sorry. Bear with your sister. Narcissist, if you're watching. Hope you're somewhere in the bottom of a lake. But that's just me talking. Jason Voorhees looking to fuck us. Anyway, let me tell you something. I met my narcissist roughly 2007. Okay. When I first met him, I met him through a friend of ours. I thought he was very attractive because at the time, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've said this before, he was not an ugly man. He was an attractive guy before I found out what he was about. You know, pretty is as pretty does, and don't you forget that. Okay. So I met him and we all used to hang out as friends. And then I was kind of attracted to him because I didn't know what a narcissist was. I didn't know that they know how to manipulate people to think that there's something that they're not. So I was getting all the impressions that this was a dime piece, y'all. I had found my happily ever after. I didn't know I had found the nightmare. But anyway. So I met him. We hung out, like I said, you know, he was giving me all this stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm a good person. I have all these things. I'm working on this. I have land and property. I have one child. And at the time, I just had one child myself. Okay. And I wasn't looking forward to that. Me personally, I don't care if a man has children. Okay. That's not my issue. I told you before, I just didn't want to be a stepmother to a whole state because I found out he had a whole bunch of kids. But anyway. So, you know, we started seeing each other. We were hanging out and things were getting, you know, kind of deep and heavy. And I was like, oh, man, this is wonderful. The sex was good. Let's just keep it real. You know, it was on point. You know what I mean? The chemistry I thought was on point. Let's just keep it on, 100. And I think within the first month, no, I take that back. Within the first, I'm lying to y'all. The very first time we all hung out, I think I told you this before in a video, we were all drinking because that's back in the day when your sister used to drink a lot. You know, I was young then. I was in my prime. Yeah. We was having a good time drinking, playing cards, doing all the good stuff, you know, people do. And he called me out my name and I heard him, something happened and he called me a bitch. Now, I told you in my other video, I heard it and I was like, did he just call me a bitch? And he played it off like, no, I didn't say that to you, but yeah, he said that shit. And that should have been a red flag number 1. And I got 1,000 red flags in this story. Shit, so much red, you'll think somebody got murdered in here. But anyway, so listen, I had that flag. And as time went on, you know, I was with him. At this time, we were together for a few months or a month or so. And he started saying to me, and I know you all can relate to this, he was like, I really want to be with you. Like, you're everything I've ever wanted. I would love to have children with you one day. I would love to have a baby with you. And me at the time, keeping it real, like I said, I just had one child. I wasn't really trying to have any more children at the time. I didn't think I'd have any more kids, to be honest. I mean, I wanted them, but the process of having them, different story. And I end up falling for the okie doke. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I fell for the okie doke. So within a few months of us dating, I was already pregnant with my first child with him. Little girl. She's the love of my life. I love her. But what happened after that was I started hearing in the streets, he was telling everybody, guess what? She was pregnant when I met her. What? She was pregnant when I met her. He was telling people we knew, his family. His family even questioned me when they found out I was pregnant. You're pregnant? I'll never forget. His sister said, you're pregnant. I said, yeah. She says, by who? Bitch, by Santa Claus. Who do you think? Yeah. So I went through my whole pregnancy of him telling people in the streets, and it was getting back to me that he was saying that. So when I would confront him, he said, I never said that. You know, I never told anybody that. And when he would see me, he would say, oh, because my stomach is, you know, it starts to grow. How's my baby doing? Oh, I love my baby so much. What are we going to name our baby? So on my end, I was getting all the, I want to be there, you know, be the daddy and I'm excited type of shit, right? But on the other end, I was hearing stuff in the streets. Yes, I was. But at the time, I didn't really know what to believe because most of the people we're talking about, I didn't know them. But deep in my heart, I'm look back on it, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I knew something wasn't right about that. Everybody ain't telling you the same thing for no reason, baby. My crazy ass wasn't thinking like that then, but hey. So anyway, time went on. We, went on through my whole pregnancy, and I had the baby. Now, went to the hospital, had get induced for the pregnancy on a Sunday night. My daughter was born on that Monday. He proceeded to not want to sign the birth certificate, but he kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to sign it, whatever." So he called a friend of his, one of his best friends, or one of his best, whatever you want to call it. He was like, "Well, we're going to go get something to eat, and we'll be back." I said, "Okay." This was Monday night. I got discharged from the hospital on Wednesday. I never saw him again. Yeah! He didn't come back. He didn't show up. He didn't call. He left me and his brand new baby in the hospital. And then I found out he went in my purse and stole one of my cards. Yeah, he did it. And I had to leave the hospital with my mother. My mother was there. And I ended up moving with my mother out of town because we were supposed to be together, but he left me. So I cried all the way to my mother's house. She lived in a different state. And I got there and I was with a brand new baby by myself. I didn't hear from this man for 2 weeks. And the baby, brand new baby, okay? So a few weeks later, he got in touch with people in my family because I didn't call him. And he got in touch with me through them. And, long story short, we ended up speaking. And he was doing the narcissist thing after he basically discarded us. "I love you so much. I love my daughter. I want y'all back, whatever. And of course, like I said, we all guilty of this at one time or another. And I told you I'm definitely guilty. I went back to him. I left my mother's home and went back to stay with him and his family at the time because I didn't have an apartment at the time. I forgot what happened. I think, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Something that happened. I was working for somebody. I lost my apartment and I ended up not having a place, but that's life. And I moved in with him and his family. Now, that's when the mask started to really slip. That's when the name calling started. I remember severely name calling, being degraded. He would say he's going to the corner store and not come back for a day or to the next day. And I'd be sitting in the house with his family looking crazy as hell. Yeah. And so on and so on. I mean, just no regard for us. Me and this baby, nothing. Never helped me buy nothing for her, nothing at the time. So I got to a point where I got tired of that after a while. And I called my mom and I said, "Mom, come and get me. I'm going to move where you're at." And he was like, I don't want to lose y'all again. I want to come with you. My mother was like, "Okay, I tell you, I got one of them mamas. I tell y'all asses what? You come down here, y'all going to work and pay some damn bills around here, which is the right thing to do. He's going to work as a man if he's going to stay here. And I'm only doing this so you all can get on your feet and do what you need to do." Now, okay. We moved out of town. We were there. He had a good job. My mother helped him get a good job. And he started talking. I found out he was flirting with my neighbors. All kinds of shit. Well, when my mother started putting pressure on him about doing what he needed to do, about paying bills, because he paid them for a minute. But you know how that goes. The mask always falls. The truth starts to come out. He started getting lazy. My mom was like, "I'm not tolerating that in my household. Y'all going to have to do something." So he just decided one day he was going to jump up and leave. He jumped up and left. Went back home. I thought, okay, this is it. He called me again one day. He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My stupid ass took him back." My mother said, "Okay." But my mama only did it for me and my baby. Don't get it twisted because she never liked his ass, really. But she did it because she knew I was in such pain and I didn't want to be there with my baby by myself. And I was in a lot of pain and so forth. But anyway, so he ended up coming back again. We stayed longer, whatever. Guess what? I get pregnant with my second baby. Now, my first baby that we had was nothing but 6 or 7 months old, y'all. Yeah, real talk. And I was on a Depo-Provera shot, so I guess he was meant to be here because I was like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, "Pregnant with what?" I said it because I was in shock, but it happened, so he's meant to be here. And I remember him, after he found out I was pregnant, guess what he did? He started telling me, "Oh, I'm at work all the time. Must be the neighbor's baby." Are you shitting me? Then he started saying, okay, that wasn't good enough when he realized I wouldn't fall for that. He was like, "I'm going to give you an ultimatum. You either want me or you want the baby." Now, I didn't know it was a boy, but somewhere in my heart, I knew it. I already had 2 girls, so I knew probably it was a boy. I just felt it. I knew it. And I told him, I said, "If I have to choose between you and my son, You're fucking out of here. And once he realized that I was sincere, he backed down from that because that's what they do. They'll play with you and go along with whatever you allow them to do. So anyway, I was pregnant with my second child, and we moved back to our state. I moved and got me an apartment. I got a job, and we had all this different stuff. We moved into a place together. Now, the whole time I'm with him, he's abusive. I mean, not every day, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to say every day, but just about every other day. The abuse, the bitches, the hoes, you make me sick. I'm out of here. F you. I don't give a F. You shut up. Da-da-da-da. Fuck you, bitch. I mean, excuse my language. I cuss anyway, but I'm just being real with you. It got so bad that my neighbors that lived behind me, who I didn't even know, one day I was going to the car with my daughter and I was pregnant, and the guy said to me, hey, you live behind me. And I said, yeah. And he goes, you know what? We can hear this man through the walls. The way he treats you, we want to come and whip his ass. I ain't never heard no shit like that before. Okay? I still was tolerating the bullshit. That's why I said I've been through it now. Listen to your sister. And then after that, I went on. He even tried to sleep with my neighbor, y'all. When she was a good friend of mine, I went out of town and I found out he went over there and tried to sleep with this woman. Took his clothes off like he was built like an Adonis. He built like SpongeBob. But anyway. So I found out, and he would tell me stuff like, and I was sitting there pregnant, and then eventually I did, of course, I had my second child, had 2 babies. I was doing everything by myself. He wouldn't even bathe them. He wouldn't help me clean them up. He wouldn't even put clothes on them. Now, he played with them from time to time, kissy, moo, and all that bullshit. But the truth be told, it was all on me and my family who helped me dearly, and God above, okay? And I'm going to tell you, he would say stuff to me like, I'm getting ready to go to the corner store. And he'd be gone for 3 or 4 days. I find out he's gone to a whole different state with his other baby mamas who I didn't even know nothing about until after I started giving birth to kids, and all these kids started coming out of the woodwork like some type of worms. I'm not calling his children worms because I love the kids, they're sweet, but you know what I mean. So after that happened and I went through all of that, I moved again. I moved to another apartment complex, and when we moved again, it just kept getting worse and worse. The name calling, anything that happened was my fault. My son had a nosebleed, and I would say, oh, his nose is bleeding. Oh, my God, I get upset like mothers do. Instead of him being on my side saying, okay, let me make sure this baby's okay, he would turn to me and say, shut the fuck up, bitch. You acting too fucking crazy. Listen to me. I've been through some shit now. I found out he was talking to other women behind my back, talking to his other baby mamas behind my back. Everything I did was never enough. He lived off of me pretty much scot-free, even though every time he turned around, now don't get me wrong, he worked, but when he worked, he gave me money sometimes, and I'm not going to lie on him. I'm not going to lie about nothing now. But did he step up to the plate? No. It was always on me, okay? Yeah. Then after that, as they got older, more and more women. One time I met him, found him with a woman from his work, and I told you a little bit about that story. Then when I caught him with the woman, the whole family didn't even help me. They stood right there and watched him say, I don't have nothing to do with her. She ain't shit to me. And he said in front of both of our babies and told me to leave and left me sitting outside crying while he catered to this raggedy ass woman who never stayed around. Let me tell you, your sister done been through it. Yeah. I found out he used to take stuff from me. I couldn't even leave my purse down. And when you around somebody that you can't even leave your fucking belongings around, that tells you something. But didn't tell me nothing, because let me tell you something about me. I'm a single. I come from a single mother household. I was raised by my grandparents, and I had already had one child with another gentleman I was with for a long time. It didn't work out. So in my mind, I was like, I don't want to fail again. And that's where a lot of us mess up at, because we think we have to put up with a lot of shit when we don't have to. Because I thought, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to be the kind of woman that has children with, somebody that doesn't work out. Well, none of us does, right? But shit happens, right? So I put up with all that kind of stuff. I mean, all kind of things. In and out of jobs, in and out of future faking me. When he thought he was going to lose me, he would say, oh, I'm going to marry you. Damn, you ain't married me in 5 years? But I would fall for it and say, okay, maybe he's going to change, because they're masters of illusion. And haven't I told you that? And I fell for all the illusions because I didn't know what I was dealing with. Okay? I knew it wasn't right. I knew he was a low down fucking bastard, but I had no idea of what I was really dealing with, y'all. Yeah. And then this abuse kept on and kept on and kept on. Okay? As my kids got a little bit older, and this last situation happened, and that's when the real mess. Well, let me go back a little bit. He even went out of town because one of his baby's mother's daughter passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace to her. It was really sad. But he found out that because the daughter died in a way that the was going to bring some kind of money in, he left us to pursue, to go with that woman because he thought he had something to gain from it. Yeah, he left and called and do same old bullshit over and over again. I'm in turmoil. I'm in pain. I don't understand. I don't know what I'm dealing with, right? That didn't work out for him. Like I told you, it'll never work out for him. You can't do wrong to folks, right? He come back around. I was at that point, getting to a point where I was like, that living in the household together and being around each other every day was not working for me. I would still deal with him and we had kids together. Sometimes he would come around, we would hang out, but it wasn't the same. It was never the same. And then the new supply, this new one came. And that's when it all hit the fan for what I was going through and what I was dealing with. I went over his house one day. And I went over for something. I can't forget what it was because he wasn't living with me at the time. Like I said, we was in that space where we wasn't there like that. And I knocked on the door and I noticed he was acting real funny. So when I walked towards his bedroom, it was dark in there. And I said, what's going on? Why are you acting funny? Because you can always tell when something ain't right, right? So your sister walked in the room, okay? But it was so dark I couldn't see nothing. So I was like, well, maybe ain't nobody in here because I didn't hear nothing or see nothing. But something in my spirit said, honey, listen, y'all. Your sister done pulled back the covers. And there she was. She popped out like a jack in the box. Well, a crack in the box. Because she looked like she's cracking in the box. Yeah. And honey, when I saw her, it shattered me because I'm not the type of person that judges people by their looks and opinion, because I know people probably look at me and think I ain't all that and whatever, and that's fine. Everybody has a different opinion. But when you see something that you know, as soon as you see it, like, oh my God, that's a junkie. That's a crackhead. That is a fool from outer space. That is a supernova ass crack base head. I was so shocked and so hurt at the same time because I was like, all these years you call me all these things. You call me all these bad things. And you always told me how better you can do than me. And this is what you're settling for? And once he finally realized that there was no way around it, I guess he realized, because I had got to a point where I wasn't doing for him anymore, y'all. I had got tired. So that's why he was like, let me go on and just move on to this. Because see, this right here is doing something more than what she's willing to do for me now. So she can kick rocks and them kids can kick rocks for all I give a fuck. And that's exactly how it came across. And that's exactly what it was. I was so destroyed, y'all. I was so hurt. I just couldn't believe it. And I looked at him and I said, what is going on? And I remember looking at her saying, you know that he has a situation, he has kids and stuff. He didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that about you. I said, how long y'all been together? What's going on? We've been together for a week. A week? You've already moved in? That's how narcissists move though, don't they? I was just devastated. So, make a long story short, I went through a whole bunch of stuff with that because, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I acted a plumb fool. I told you this before, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was acting a fool. I was acting out. I was hurt. I was fucked up because I couldn't believe that after all of it you put me through and you made me try to brainwash me, which I keep telling you, watch out for that I wasn't good enough, that I was a piece of shit. This is what you ended up with. You downgraded beyond the core of the earth. You went and got down there and got something from fucking Satan's lair. And this is what you want. And then not only that, what he proceeded to do after I found out. That's when you weren't worth anything ever. You never did anything for me. Even though you lived off of me almost scot-free for 13 years. You fucking bat. You are not this. She's better than you will ever be. And it started making me think that was true. Because there's no way in hell that a man would leave a decent human being, or try to be, for something that has, and I'm not lying, I think she has 7 or 8 kids. She was shooting heroin. She was known for prostitution. Now, don't get me wrong. Even though me and her don't get along, I don't know this woman's story. We don't know why she got like that. So sometimes you have to look at that, okay? You would ask me that 3 years ago, and I would have just said she's like that because she's a witch. But your sister don't come a long way. So, you don't never know what makes people turn into what they turn into. So I'm not going to judge her on that. But I'm just giving you the facts of why it hurt me so bad, because I could not believe that somebody thought my value was lower than that. Yeah, come on with it. Your sister said it. My value means nothing to you. I meant nothing. And you're showing me by what you're with now that I have no value. But it was all for a reason, because he wanted me to feel that way. He wanted me to feel the way that she actually was, if you understand. He all alone. That's what all that abuse was for. That's all that name calling. All the stuff he did with me and the babies is because he knew that I was decent. And when they know you're decent and they know deep inside they're not, they'll do anything to break you down. So when they do things to you or they discard you, you will not be good for nobody else. And I don't told you this before, and I know it because I lived it. I'm telling you my story. It took me a long time to get out of it. So when people say, how long did it take you to get out of being done like that? It took a very long time. It took a lot of prayer. It took a lot of all kinds of stuff. Honey, I told you I went over there. I flattened tires. I went over there. I tried to fight him. Me and the narcissist got into fighting. Narcissist New Supply, got to fighting. Hell, I wanted to kill their ass. I did all those things. I surely did. And that's why I'm trying to tell you it's not worth it. Because everything I did didn't change a damn thing. It never changed one perspective of how he really felt about me. And once I instantly got it, I got it one day. Damn. There's nothing I could have done then or I could have done now. Because your perspective of me was not right from day one. Come on now. From day one, it has nothing to do with me. You're a sick individual. And you're only going to do the same thing, and he is doing the same thing. And I told you a little story about something in my last video, how the New Supply walks around whenever I do come around talking about my children. It's not because she's worried so much about him. She knows good and well, deep in her spirit, that she knows he's not a good person either. Okay? Yeah, they worry about that. I keep telling you, they worry about you because they know good and well if you did it to her and she's a decent motherfucker, what would you do to me? But they ain't going to let you know that. So I'm telling you this, I'm telling you my story, and it took me a long time to get out of it, but I've gotten out of it. It was a struggle, the biggest fight of my life. I told you that. Besides losing my daughter, it was one of the biggest things as the worst thing that ever happened to me, but also the best. Because you know what? And I say this from my heart. Ooh, I got chills. If I had not gone through this, I would not be here loving up on y'all and trying my best to help you and trying to connect with you. And letting you know you're not alone, that you're going to make it through, and that everything happens for a reason, even though all the story I told you, minute by minute, led me to where I'm at right now, and that's with you. And I don't regret that at all, because your sister loves you so much. Keep your head up. And if you have anything else you want to tell me and drop down and give me some stories, your sister loves to hear from you, because I think you're wonderful, phenomenal, you deserved better, and you are better. And guess what? Day by day, if you're going through pain, it is going to get better. I told you in my other video, suicide, depression, and all that, it ain't worth it. Because I told you like this, if you lose your life or you lose yourself behind them, they won't care. What they will do, and now listen to your sister, is sit around and say this. I told you she was crazy. Told you she wasn't mentally right. Didn't I tell you something was wrong with her? Didn't I tell you that? Because they ain't going to come to your funeral and cry about you. Or if you're in a mental hospital, talking about, oh, God, I shouldn't have done him like that. Oh, I regret what I done to him. It doesn't work like that. So I'm just telling you right now, keep your fucking head up. Your sister loves you so much. I'm giving you my story. Listen to me. Been there, done it. And there's a lot of stuff I didn't tell you, baby. It would have took me 3 days worth of video to tell you all the shit I seen. My God. But there's a brief thing about it, and I love you so much. I do. I want nothing but the best for y'all. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.